Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And why is that playing? It is not big government or bust. Welcome, welcome. It is Friday. Friday. Yes, Friday. Which means it's Freedom Friday here on the Rod Eccles Show, which means that you get to call in and talk about almost anything under the sun. See, Monday through Thursday, we try to keep the calls in as you call in something that I'm interested about or about what we're talking about already on the show. Yeah, I'm putting in a little millennial speech pattern there. So that when you call in during Monday through Thursday, you would call in and you would talk about the stuff that we're already talking about or something that you think that I might be interested in so that we can have a fun and interesting conversation. On Friday, it's just about whatever you want to talk about. So it could be almost any subject under the sun, as long as you keep it clean. And the number that you can call, do you see why talking to a millennial who hasn't grown up could drive you insane if you listen to them long enough? Because it's just, I don't know where they learned that speech pattern from. But it can drive one insane trying to listen. You just want to shake them and say, that's not how you talk. Are you sure that you are confident in saying what you're saying? You know, when I was in school, whenever you ended a sentence that way, if you ended a sentence up here, instead of ending the sentence going down, then the teachers would always say, is that a question? And it didn't matter what you were saying. I mean, you could be stating a fact or reading something, and the teacher would ask, is that a question? And, of course, you would have to defend yourself if you said no. Because the teacher would always look at you and say, well, why are you stating it as a question? And you, of course, as a student, well, I'm not stating it as a question. Because, well, your inflection says that you are making a question. See, we used to care about speech patterns, and we used to care about writing and all that kind of stuff. But today, I guess they don't really pay attention to that in school. So that's why these kids are becoming young adults that still sound like they're 12 and 16 in high school. The number that you can call here, however, is 603-835-3224. Again, the number is 603-835-3224. You know, it's always amazing. Yesterday on Twitter, there are a number of people trying to take me to task about calling into the program. As I can't believe I have to explain rules and rules of etiquette with phones. First of all, anybody is welcome to call the show. Anybody is welcome. Just because you call it doesn't mean you're going to get on the air. Let me be frank. If you call with a number that is blocked, we can't read the number here, you're not getting on. So unblock your number. I mean that's just ridiculous. Everybody wants to know who they're talking to. Okay, especially for somebody who's just running the soundboard, the switchboard, everything board on this program by himself. Yes, I start to, repeat callers are great. Love them. I can start to recognize their number. If you're calling with a blocked number, I don't know who you are. I have no chance of knowing who you are. You're not going to get through. So unblock your number. 2, as I've mentioned at least a dozen times, sometimes you're going to get put on hold. You may or may not hear anything when you're put on hold. Do not hang up. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? You got through. Hold on. Doesn't mean, just because you called does not mean I'm going to bring you on the air, post haste. You get put on hold. Hold on. That's what hold is for. If for some reason I cannot answer your call, maybe because there's already somebody in the queue and I've already got somebody on the air, don't get mad. Just call back. Why is it that people get mad when they try to call this program? You try calling other programs, you're going to get busy signals all the time. And so you necessarily won't get a busy signal here, but it doesn't mean that I'm not already busy, obviously. So call back. I can't believe there's a few people who got mad at me because I didn't pick up. Look, I want to talk to everybody, but you got to wait your turn. Can't talk to everybody at once. So those are the rules. And they're not even rules; they're just common courtesy types of things. Just go ahead and call. Yes, 603-835-3224. And of course, today is Freedom Friday, which means that we take things a little bit lighter today. Yes, that's right, Freedom Friday. We take things a little bit lighter. We try not to be as serious today as we have been during the rest of the week, earlier in the week, just so we can go into the weekend with a little bit more levity and enjoying ourselves and what freedom that we have left. I know people like to barbecue. Well, I don't think anybody's going to be barbecuing along the East Coast this weekend. They're expecting, it's not a nor'easter. What do they call it? Jonas? Winter Storm Jonas? Why are they naming storms? Now, I don't know. Just so they can remember which ones they are, like the hurricane. Are they naming tornadoes yet? It would seem to me that you'd want to be able to name, maybe there's too many of them. Well, I don't know. Seems to me that you'd want to name some of the more powerful tornadoes. What do you go up to? F5 category? So you'd probably want to name the F3, 4, and 5 tornado. I would assume. I don't know. Maybe they just figured there's too many tornadoes to name. But now they're naming winter storms, and this one is Jonas. And I'm not sure if it's for the Jonas Brothers, if it's a tribute to the Jonas Brothers or not. Everybody knows who the Jonas Brothers are, right? I know. Well, maybe not. It's been a while for them, hasn't it? Well, no, right? Who's the Nick Jonas? Isn't he the youngest one? Wasn't he? Yeah, he's not he wasn't the lead singer of the brother boy band, right? He's the youngest one. And now, yeah, this is I always talk about the limited talent that we have out there in music and acting right now among the young, amongst the young. Now, some of his Nick Jonas's. I'm probably going to get in trouble with all you. What do they call Jonas fans? Are they Jonasites? I don't know. But I'll probably get in trouble with some of the people who like the Jonas Brothers and Nick Jonas. But some of his stuff is catchy. Some of the stuff I hear on the radio is catchy. Doesn't mean it's good, just means it's catchy. But it sounds like he's constantly straining his voice. It doesn't sound natural. It sounds like he's working very, very hard in order to sing. That's not a talented person. A talented person, whether or not they have a good voice or not, they've learned how to use their voice so it sounds effortless, so they're not straining. It just sounds like I don't know. It sounds like the kid is on the toilet trying to take a crap half the time when he's singing. Really. Yeah, and he is a kid. He's early 20s, right? I know everybody goes gaga over him. But see, he's not the only one. There are a lot of people that absolutely sound terrible. But they're musical stars. Now, granted, Jonas, they all played their own instruments, so he has some musical instrument talent, but the singing ability, I don't know, maybe he needs a voice coach or something, because it just sounds to me, whenever I hear him come on the radio, I want to go take a dump, because it just sounds like he's straining that hard when singing. It just, I don't know. But probably it's a good thing the kids are all in school today, because then nobody heard that. No Jonas fan is probably going to hear that. So, yeah, he seems like a nice kid, though. Seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's not getting into any trouble like a lot of other young stars seem to get into. But so evidently he's got a good head on his shoulders. Good for him. But maybe. I don't think he's going to be around as a solo artist for very long. By the way, speaking of solo artists, has anybody heard of what the hell happened to Iggy Azalea? And I bring it up because, it got a lot of stuff about the Oscars that I want to talk to you about. And see, on Fridays, I talk to you about a lot of stuff that's more lighthearted. Remember, this program is a political, current events, and pop culture program. So we've got to cover all the bases. And I got some stuff for on the Oscars and some Clinton stuff. We'll get to Clinton a little bit later. But this is, where is Iggy Azalea? Everybody was out there, talking about. She was a talk of the town. Half the people were trying to dismantle Iggy, and half the people were trying to, keep Iggy put together. My own personal opinion, Iggy Azalea from New Zealand, I think she's a New Zealander, right? New Zealand or Australia? I think she's a fraud with no talent. I've said it before. I mean, she grew up, she was born, raised, grew up, went to high school, all her formative years in New Zealand. How do you come out with a so-called black urban accent when you're rapping? It comes off as contrived, fake, not genuine. And there were a lot of people, both black and white, who had issues with Iggy Azalea. Now, you could say, look, I'm not trying to bring on the race card here, because I think the gentleman that called a couple of days ago from the Bronx had a very good point about not always using skin tone titles like Caucasian or white and black. He didn't want to label himself. That's millennials don't like labels, whatever that means. But I understand to a certain point, because we're all human. But at the same time, it also addresses the differences in our cultures. And we have to understand that sometimes it is a form of flattery to imitate, to be imitated. You have kids, suburban kids that like the if you want to call it the lifestyle. I don't know why you would like the lifestyle of an inner urban city. It's nothing but death, drugs, and gang violence. But maybe they get turned on by the fashion, and they like the music. Got it. So you want to imitate it to a certain degree. You want to wear the clothes. So you go to the mall and you buy Sean John's $150 hoodie because you think it looks hood, like you straight out of Compton or something, right? And you listen, to nothing but hip hop. They used to call it rap, but now they call it hip hop. So you listen to hip hop while wearing your $150 Sean John hoodie. Got it. You're imitating a certain culture that you like. Okay. But it stops becoming imitation, flattery, and starts becoming insulting when you try to act like something that you are not. Dressing like it is one thing, but actually trying to say and believe that you are a part of that culture, that's fake and it's insulting. And there were a lot of people, both black and white, that were rightfully upset and indignant and insulted by Iggy Azalea. I don't even really listen to hip hop, but I was insulted. I could not believe this is, and no, when it comes to the Oscars, I am not one that says that you have to have color codes and you have to have quotas for Oscars. What, are you good or you're not good? Plain and simple. And I understand people will say, well, do you like this music or do you not like this music? And I fully understand that she sold a lot of records. She even sold quite a few records within the black community. Although I got to tell you, when people were really, I don't know why they were spending their hard-earned, their 99 cents or $1.25, whatever it was, over on iTunes for her. They could have just picked it off the air. But a lot of times they'd buy this stuff and they'd pick. I listened to an urban station in Syracuse one time, Syracuse, New York. And they were playing an Iggy, I don't remember the song that Iggy Azalea was singing, one of her so-called big hits. They were trashing the hell out of her and that song on the air. Now understand, when they play it, that radio station has to pay a royalty. They have your stations aren't getting this music that they're playing for free. Most of the time, they're not getting it for free. They have to pay to play this stuff. That's why it costs money, a lot of money, to run a music radio station. Some people just don't understand that, but it is true. It can cost a lot of money to run it doesn't even have to be a commercial station. It could be a NPR, PBS type of station, but it costs money to do that because you have to pay a royalty. I mean, it could be in the pennies, but you have to pay a royalty for each song or each piece of copyrighted material, which is why you don't hear a lot of copyrighted, if you will, royalty-based music on this program, because I would have to pay a royalty to these music licensing companies, so they pay the artist royalty, and that stuff adds up and gets very expensive very fast, and they don't like when you don't pay. You didn't give us, you didn't give us our 2 cents, so we're going to sue you for $200 per song every time you played it. Well, that's what the basically music industry tried to be a very big bully. They got away with it for a little while, and then people got smart and started doing other things with getting their music sources from other places, and that sort of hurt the industry pretty bad, pretty quick. But So they have to pay to play an Iggy Azalea song every time they play it. So they're taking the time. Now, sure, it might cost them pennies or a fraction of a penny, but they're still paying. So they're paying for something, and I'm bringing this to light because, people will pay for stuff that they don't like often just to make fun of it, trash it, blow it up, what have you. So they were paying for something that they didn't like, and they were trashing it. And I think for good reason. Because you cannot co-opt somebody's culture if you do not know it. And living in New Zealand, you cannot possibly know the culture of somebody living in a far-off land. That's like, when people say, "Well, I like getting to know people." They say when they travel. Yeah, you can't get to know a population of people, even in a neighborhood, on vacation for 3 to 5 days. You can't get to know them. Hey, you can get a taste or a flavor of the neighborhood or the country by being there for a week. But you can't get to know people. You're not living amongst them. That's one of the things that sort of irks me when people say, "Well, I want to get to know different people. I want to get to know people." Great, go live there. I don't have to live there to get to know. Yeah, you do. Stepping in for a day or two is not getting to know someone. But we have a lot of people, especially liberals, that think that they can do that. That they go visit someplace and they understand everything about that culture or that country because they visited. And they have all these wonderful things and stories and they come up with all these great, they pontificate all kinds of stupidity because they think that they know something when they don't know jack. It's like me going to Paris and telling you, for a few days and saying, "Yeah, I know what Parisians are like." I have no clue. Whatever I saw and felt and dealt with was very superficial. I didn't live among them. I was a tourist that barely even spoke to anyone. If I wasn't interacting with them in a business sense, at a restaurant or a store, I didn't talk to other Parisians. I didn't walk up to anybody in the street. I didn't make a friend. What do I know about French life or Parisian life? I can only tell you the surface of what I saw while I was there. And obviously, the city's, over 12 million people. There wasn't much I could possibly see in a few days. But you will get liberals that will come back and say, "Oh, Paris was so wonderful. The people were so warm and friendly. And I understand how Parisians feel and live right now." Oh, bullcrap you do. You know nothing. It's the same thing here. You got people trying to imitate, but they think that because they make millions of dollars, they can get away with imitating something without knowing anything about it. Well, that is called acting, yes. And there are some good actors and there are some bad actors. Are you a good actor or a bad actor? And there are some absolutely awful actors. I know we usually say those are B movies, right? B movie actors. Ronald Reagan was a B movie actor, right? He wasn't an Oscar worthy actor. A lot of actors are like that. But it's an interesting thing when you have people who try to imitate and they don't know anything about who they're imitating or what they're imitating. I guess that's why some of these actors, they have to go and live or ride or do something with people so they can understand them. And I think that's called method acting, right? I don't. But then they're just as bad. Because they get paid to go, live with somebody in some far off place that they never would go for, 6 months or something. And they claim to know everything about them. They claim it makes them I guess I shouldn't bash those who try to do that. I shouldn't. And I won't, I guess. I'll try not to from now on.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. Franz Black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Just give me a call at 603-835-3224 should you wish to join me here live on the Rod Eccles Show. Back this Friday morning. By the way, the website, I know I don't mention this often, but the website, rodeccles.net. Twitter is at Rod Eccles. Facebook is The Rod Eccles Show. And LinkedIn is Rod Eccles, as well as Google+. And I do believe Pinterest is the same thing. Yeah, I'm kind of consistent that way. I don't get fancy and stuff. You can easily find me on social media. And if you get confused, just go to rodeccles.net and you can get to the links to hook up directly to the social media platform of your choice. Not hard. Plus lots of other great stuff over there on rodeccles.net. And you get to see other stuff that obviously isn't on the air and cannot be on the air. But anyway, again, the call-in number this morning is 603-835-3224. It looks like the Academy Awards. Yeah. Now, a lot of you probably just don't understand who I am when it comes to stuff like this. I know I try to cover pop culture. And that means you're covering, celebrityism, celebrities. You're covering Hollywood and Nashville and New York. But frankly, I don't really care a lot about those people. I know some of you are probably thinking, what? That's not very Christian or humanitarian-like. No, I like watching movies, and I have my favorite actors and actresses. I do. However, I'm not that interested in these people that I would try to follow them, get to know what they're doing in their everyday personal life. People follow the Kardashians around. I mean, are you kidding me? Get your own life. There's nothing interesting about them. That's what I'm talking about, celebrityism. I don't ask for autographs from people. Why? What good is that going to do me? I've met some famous people in my time, and I've never asked for a single autograph. It means nothing. I got their signature. Well, it could be worth something, Rod. Yeah, it could be worth something someday, possibly. But I'm just not interested in it. I'm not giving them certain. Yeah, there are certain people that I really admire, and so and I would either love to meet them, or if I have met them, it's been a great pleasure and a great honor because I really admire them. But I still have never asked for their autograph. I don't make them like superhuman beings, like they're above everything else or above me. They've just done something that I really admire, or they are a person and believe in something that, and they've gone through terrible struggles to be who they are, and I really admire them. But I cannot say that very well, or very much of most actors and entertainers. I don't give a rip who they are, or who they think they are. That's the big thing, is who they think they are. They think that they're these overly important people. They're not. Beyonce and Jay-Z, great. Maybe they make a lot of music that a lot of people like. Great. They're entertainers. They don't have some gigantic, humongous, mystical insight to life. As a matter of fact, because they're so sheltered, because of their lifestyle, they know less than you and I do. And this is how you get all these Hollywood actor types out there saying all this inane and stupid stuff. Because they live behind locked gates and gated communities. They have more money than they know what to do with, and you get people. I love the left. I love the left to death. I mean, I mean, they drive me insane, but I love them. Love them. Just today, something about I think J.P. Morgan, their CEO, is getting a raise. He's going to make, his total compensation package. Not just his cash salary, but his total compensation package is going to be worth something like $25 to $27 million. Yeah. I know J.P. Morgan hasn't been doing the greatest out there as far as business, but what business has of the past, 8 to 10 years, over the past decade, has been pretty rough. But there are a ton of liberals out there who are going to pounce on, like Bernie Sanders. Remind me to get on Bernie Sanders for a second. It's about his commercial. But they're out there. They're going to pounce on this guy for $25 to $27 million. Total compensation package. Well, they shouldn't be out there making that kind of. What about the janitor and this and that and all the other workers? Well, but you hear how much Beyonce made last year. What was it, $80 million? You hear how much Tom Cruise makes a movie? Was it 30 to 35 million plus a percentage of the gross receipts? A percentage of your ticket price. So $30 million for a movie for roughly 2 hours on the screen. And everybody clamors. Now, all the liberals, they just go gaga over these actors. It could be Tom Cruise. It could be Will Smith, who's also up in that 20 million plus per picture range. It could be, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to make that kind of money, and so did Sylvester Stallone, but I don't think any more of them. There are a couple of actors. Arnold at least tried to put his thoughts where his so-called mouth was, and he ran for governor. At least he tried that. Most Hollywoodians don't even do that because deep down they know they're idiots and nobody's going to believe or buy their BS. But all of you wonderful people out there who just get into all this celebrity stuff, you talk about how these business people who actually provide products and service that the rest of us can use on a daily basis and that provide thousands and thousands of jobs. Some of them not so good paying and some of them very good paying. But what do these Hollywood actors and musicians do? Do you think that they're paying their, the people that their cameraman who's running the cameras to make a movie 6 figures a year while they're bringing down 7 figures or 8 figures? Think about that. You've got the cameraman who makes the star look good. He's not making $100,000, but you have this wonderful person over here who's the actor who is making and earning what $100 or $25 million for a picture. And they talk about how hard they work. They work 1 or 2 months out of the year for the movie, and they work so hard. Oh, man, I never worked so hard in all my life. Man, it was a hard thing. You know what hard work is? Getting your butt up every single day for 12 months out of the year. Maybe you'll get a 2 or 3 week vacation reprieve sometime in there. So in other words, most Americans, their vacation is about as long as it takes to make the average B movie. About a month. Not even. Hey, think about all the TV actors. You think it takes them months and months to film an episode? They film, depending on the type of show it is, even if it's an hour long, half hour, hour long, doesn't matter. They film 1 to 2 episodes per week. And depending on the show, they're only working 13 to 26 weeks out of the year. So, 3 to 6 months? They make $100,000 an episode. I mean, this is absolutely insane, ludicrous that these people are going to talk about the economic inequality in business when they are the epitome of economic equality. Inequality. They are the epitome of economic inequality. But I know people are going to say, well, Rod, you can't be upset with these. Yes, I can. I can be very upset with them because some of them actually know that they're idiots, basically. But they think they have this air of self-importance. We don't have royalty in this country. We don't. So basically, our entertainers become our royalty. And some of our politicians become our royalty because maybe it's just it's an innate quality in humans that they got to have, people to look up to that they think that are superior to them in some form or fashion. And that there are people out there who do truly believe that they are superior to other people. Now, I don't think anybody's superior to anybody else. You may be smarter than somebody else, but you're not superior to them in any way. You're still a human being. Your DNA is still exactly the same. Human. Which is why I don't ask for autographs. Because you're just another human being to me. And simply because you entertain me for an hour and a half to 2 hours on a small or large screen does not make you better than anybody else. Anybody can do what you do. Not anybody can do it right. Have you seen some of these actors? They don't act. They're terrible. So yeah, anybody can do what, and a lot of actors today, they really don't act. They just act like themselves. You've seen one of their movies, and you've seen them all because they act exactly the same. Adam Sandler has started to move away from that because every movie that he made, earlier in his career, he was Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler was playing Adam Sandler basically on the film, and if you saw one, yeah, okay, that's Adam. Same thing over and over again. He's starting to get out of that mode, and it's good to see that because you can't be. You know what acting is? Robin Williams. That man played comedy. He played straight guy. He played funny guy. He played, horrific characters. He played serious characters. There was an actor. Some of his best, he's known as a comedian, but some of his best work on the big screen has been in dramatic roles. He was an actor. Sad to say that most in Hollywood, especially the younger set, if they're under 40, most of them, they don't know how to act. They act like themselves. That's not acting. But, and so you get these people out here who are all bent out of shape over the Academy Awards, I guess. Because there aren't enough black actors who are nominated this year. It's an all-white Academy Awards again. Nick, who cares? Now we're supposed to have quotas in the Academy Awards? So it doesn't matter how good you are or how good you were in a movie, just because... let me ask this question. If you are an ethnic person, in other words, you're somebody of an ethnic background other than Caucasian, and, if you want to talk about, well, Caucasian is an ethnic background, Rod, yeah, I know, but we could talk for days about this subject, but let me just use the common colloquial meaning of the word ethnic. If you are of an ethnic background, do you want somebody pandering to you? Because if they pander to you, then it means that you're accepting their notion that you're not good enough simply because of your skin color, and that you deserve some sort of quota system in order to be considered to be equal. Well, you're not equal. So the Academy is thinking of ways on how to change the rules of voting to better reflect diversification within the Academy. So in other words, they don't want a repeat of Jada Pinkett Smith having a fit about there not being any blacks nominated. So let me get this. Let me see if I understand. So if there are let's just say we go an entire year of no serious acting roles or movies going to black people, because let's just say blacks, because of the Oscars, blacks this year totally boycott movies for a year. They're not doing anything. They're all sitting out in protest for nobody being nominated in the Oscars. So if they institute these new rules, are they going to have to find a way to meet the quota? So if the quota says, well, we got to have five African Americans nominated in some major category in the Oscars, but there are none. How do you fill that? You just start picking them out of a hat? You start making up stuff? Look, you don't run around with quotas. And I can't believe that Jada Pinkett and you know the angry director Spike Lee wants a quota system. Because they're out there saying, well, we're not good enough to make it on our own in this day and age with a black president, so we need a quota. Is that going to make you feel good? Knowing that possibly the only reason that this particular black artist, if you want to call him an artist, got nominated isn't because of the work that he did and that he was so outstanding in that particular role, but because there's a quota and he had to be nominated. Now, what are you going to start? Are you going to start dishing out quotas for who wins the Oscar too? I mean, it's one thing to say, well, we're going to, instead of 5 nominees, we're going to have 6 nominees, and that 6th nominee is always going to be an ethnic person. Always. Oh, yeah, maybe they'll do it that way. So you got 5 nominees who are normal, and you got that one token nominee. It could be, black, Asian, what have you, Latino, but they got 6 nominees now, and that one nominee always has to be in order to diversify, they have to be of an ethnic background. Great. Now, are we going to start requiring quotas for the winners? Are you going to say that at least 1/3 of the Oscars has to go to an ethnic person? Even if they suck, you nominate them and they have to win. Is that really how you want to go with this thing? Well, this is exactly what's happening, what they're trying to pull off in real life. I can't believe how many times I hear all these people talk about, I want to make it on my own. I want to make it on my own. And then you talk about getting rid of certain quotas, and they go off the deep. What are you talking about, man? And we need this type of opportunity. We need this, and we need that. Well, I thought you just said you wanted to make it on your own. So really, you don't. You want to have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. It's one way or the other. If you want to make it on your own, you cannot have a quota system of any kind. But if you want a quota system, don't expect to believe that you're making it on your own. But that's what they're. And that just goes for anything in life. It doesn't have to be Hollywood, and it doesn't have to be politics, but all that kind of stuff affects us on a daily basis. I don't know about you, but I don't want to. I would never want to gain a job simply because the employer had to fill a quota. Let me give you an example. There was one time. I'm not going to name the company because it's probably not the company's. Well, it probably was the company's fault. I interviewed for a company. And I mailed them in my resume. They called me in for an interview. And I'm sitting there. My resume is on his desk. Resume's on his desk. I notice it. I was led into the room to sit down. I sat down. My resume's on his desk. So he's not at his desk yet. I see a big B at the top of the resume. Now, I don't know if B was a grade system or if it meant color, as in black. So I'm just looking at it thinking, Now in comes the manager that I'm interviewing with, who's white. No problem. Big deal, right? Just another human being, another American. Yeah. But some of the questions were of an ethnic slant. I want to tell you, at the end of the interview, I was rather uncomfortable, and I said, there's one thing that I have learned at one of my previous jobs, and you asked me the question, why would I want to come work here? And I looked him in the eye and I said, I think the other big question is, in this day and age, is what's in it for me? Why should I lend you my talents? I reversed it on him. And it stunned him. And he gave the same pat answer. I says, sir, I get that answer from any company. They're the best to work for. Everybody loves it there, and that kind of thing. But to be frank, I think it takes a little bit more than that, and I don't think that you believe I'm a good fit here. Shook his hand and I walked out. Now, I don't want to get somewhere because of a quota. I'm not, if I know it's happening, I'm going to remove myself from contention. I'm not going to do it because it's insulting. It is absolutely insulting. Look, you want to know some of the best things that you can possibly do in your life? Go in for an interview, kill the interview, and turn down the job. Let me tell you something. You're going to get callbacks from some of those people. You really are. They're going to reach out to you again at some point. But you got to understand and know your own self-worth, but you also have to understand that you're not worse and you're not better than anybody else. And for anybody to tell you that you are or are not, I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous. You should be telling people, hold on, no, I'm not better than anybody else. Maybe you're more talented in a particular area than someone else is, and maybe they're more talented in another area than you. But you're still both human beings, and you're both equally important. And this whole notion that there should, in the Oscars, it's just a bunch of actors and entertainers getting together to pat themselves on the back. It is very indicative and very telling that we have people out there on the left coast, Hollywood, screaming about diversity, talking about equality, and within their own ranks, they don't have it. Do you understand that? You want to understand how hypocritical that is? Within their own ranks, they do not have equality. Although they're out there preaching it on a daily basis about equality. They're making movies about it. Selma. But when it gets right down to it, to the real life, off-camera stuff, they do not have real equality. Now, although I do not believe what Pinkett Smith and Spike Lee are saying and some of the others are saying about the Academy and how they're handling it, at the same time, they don't realize just how hypocritical they're being. Extremely hypocritical. Unbelievably hypocritical. But these are the people. These are the kinds of people. These people are the kinds of people that you will put on a pedestal, call them a celebrity, and let them get away with making millions and millions of dollars for doing very little work. How sad.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Friday, January the 22nd in the year of our Lord 2016, which means it is, basically it's like an open mic Friday. It is Freedom Friday, where, yes, indeed, where we take this time out to celebrate, head into the weekend to celebrate our freedom, the freedom that we do have remaining. The number that you can call in for this Freedom Friday is 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. And Freedom Friday rules are you can talk about just about anything. Even if it doesn't interest me, you can still try to talk about it. Just keep it clean. Because Monday through Thursday, we're only talking about stuff that's really on topic for the day and that I'm interested in. Otherwise, it's on Fridays. You talk about just about anything that suits your fancy. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you want to talk about chemtrails, for example. Even though I'm not interested in chemtrails, I don't believe in that whole thing. I've looked at one of the things that always gets me is that when you don't believe somebody's theory, they always tell you, well, man, you got to look at this, and you got to look at that, you got to read this, and you got to read that. And the problem is with a lot of that stuff is I've already seen or read a lot of the stuff that they're pointing out because it's been out forever. It's nothing new. But I've already seen it on YouTube, or I've read the article or the piece or what have you. And they say, well, you just don't understand. You're not reading it or you're not looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it or I've read it already. I'm not buying it. What part do you not get? And then people get really incensed when you don't see what they see or you don't believe what they believe. I hate to make this analogy, but it's if people want to understand fully Islam, then just think about the person that you know that is a conspiracy theorist. And think about just regular harmless conspiracy theorists. Look at how angry they get when you dispel their conspiracy theory. When you don't believe them. Look, now multiply that 100 times when you don't believe in Islam to an Islamist. Yeah, I know, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if conspiracy theorists ran around acting like Muslims when people didn't believe them? I'm just making the connection here. Life is full of connections, and I'm just making that connection. Speaking of connection, one of the things that I was going to try to jip this. Hold on for a second. Let's see if we can bring in a caller before I get to the Bernie Sanders thing. Let's see who we got here. 540. You're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go. Hello, 540. I don't know what happened there. If you are 540, please try to call back in. We'll make sure that everything is still copacetic. With all, yeah, it's still good. Okay, well, we will see. Anyway, getting back to trying here. Let's see if we can bring on the caller. 540, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, wonderful. So now, yesterday everything was working fine. Guess I got to go back. Sorry about that, folks. We will check that at the break. So 540, give a call back right after this bottom of the hour break, and we'll get back to you. We'll check everything was working yesterday. I swear, I'm not a techie person. I don't know what the heck is going on with my computers. But anyway, we'll get that straightened out. Bernie Sanders. Bernie. 540, you're gonna if I can't hear you this time, you're gonna have to wait and call back after the break when I change the configurations on the computer, because I can't hear you right now if you are talking. So are you there? No, I cannot hear you. So as I said, we'll get that straightened out. And you're not on mute, so I don't know why that's not coming through loud and clear, because you're not coming. Anyway, Bernie Sanders. Bernie. I'm watching these commercials, and I meant to get this gypped. But here I am, I'm watching Bernie Sanders on a commercial. It's all over Hulu. Every time you're trying to watch something on Hulu. But there's a big problem with the Bernie Sanders commercial. Now, a lot of people would say, well, yeah, because Bernie Sanders is he's a socialist, a communist. He wants to break up the big banks. Yeah, that's what he says. He wants to break up the big banks. And he said, and the commercial he talks briefly about expanding, health care for all. I thought that's what Obamacare was already supposed to be doing, giving health care to all. And universal college education, meaning free college education to everybody who wants it. There are problems with the college education thing, but I'm not going to talk about that point, because there's a lot there that is absolutely just stupid and ludicrous. But the main problem that I have, and I have not seen or heard anybody pick up on this about Bernie Sanders. Now, in the ad, Bernie Sanders says he asks a question, about the big banks in corporate America. He's going to make them play fair. He says, get rid of the tax loopholes and that kind of thing. And he says, will they like me? No. But, and I quote, will they play by the rules of our president? You bet. That's the problem. Mr. Sanders, it's not the rules of the president. Look, we've got Loretta Lynch out there the other day talking about Congress has given the power to Obama to dictate gun laws. We don't have a dictator. We don't have a potentate. We don't have a king. We don't have a monarchy, an emperor, whatever you want to call him. We have an elected representative, an elected president of a republic, a democratic republic, which means it's not the rules of the president, Mr. Sanders. It is the law of the Constitution. The president doesn't get to make the rules. Bernie Sanders seems to think that when you're the president, you get to make the. In other words, under Bernie Sanders' way of thinking and Bernie Sanders' life and in Bernie Sanders' country, Chris Rock was absolutely correct when he said, he's our boss. No, he's not. The president doesn't get to make the rules. And yet, Bernie is out there saying, the president makes the rules. And that the rules are that if you're a big bank, I'm going to break you up. Well, how big's too big? I don't know. So who has the right to do that? Well, they broke up AT&T, Rod. Well, yeah, the government broke it up because the government created it. The government created a monopoly. The banks are not a monopoly. You don't like Bank America, go to Citibank. Don't like Citibank, go to your local bank. Don't like banks at all, go to your credit union. You got choice. You got choice between multiple banks, multiple, savings institutions, multiple credit unions, and you have the choice of not using traditional banks at all. You can use other forms of quote-unquote banking systems in this country. So what Bernie Sanders is saying is he wants to take away your choice, kind of like Obama did with health care. I think you all should have it simply because you're alive. You need to have it. And this is it. No, it doesn't make any sense. The president doesn't make the rules. Well, I guess the president can make the rules. It's called regulation. President, this is one thing that's very scary in this country. The president doesn't actually have to lobby Congress to make a law, to write and pass a law. Doesn't have to do it. All he has to do is just go to the proper department and say, here, make a regulation for this. And then it's the equivalent of a law. So if you want to reduce guns, actually Obama really didn't need to issue an executive order. I mean I don't want to give. I don't know if I should give anybody any hints on how to do this, but. We all get upset about Obama's executive orders. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. However, Obama doesn't need to go the executive order route. All he has to do is start issuing regulations. You say, but Rod, laws regulate. Yeah, laws regulate, or regulations regulate. But they have the same weight as a law. You can be fined or even go to jail for long periods of time for violating a regulation, just like if you were to break a law. So all you got to do is simply, I don't fully understand how it is that people think that It really makes no sense on the regulation side. It really makes no sense. And when you do that, it's simply because you don't want to go through the process of making a law. You just don't want to go through the process of making a law. So what you do is you have regulations that act as laws. And if you want to restrict somebody's freedom, all you have to do is go out there and act like you're making a law, but make it a regulation in the proper department. The proper department. That's all it takes. So if you want to regulate, if you want to make a law, an executive order, say you want a seatbelt law. Well, no, let's take say you want gun safety regulation or laws. Well, then you just go to the proper department that handles the safety of guns, and you say, okay, I want you to have a regulation that stipulates that guns of this size and caliber must have a built-in lock on them, must have, only the owner can fire it, must have a serial number someplace that cannot be filed off, and must have this, and must have that, and must have this. And you've effectively told the manufacturers that after a certain date, all the gun that they manufacture, this type of caliber, has to meet all these regulations. And if they do not meet the regulations, they cannot sell it in the United States, or they will be fined heavily. You know what happens? That gun doesn't get made. If it gets made, it is only for export. It is not for sale in the United States. Stuff like that happens. So Obama didn't have to really issue an executive order. All he had to do was say, write these regulations. Plain and simple. That's all he had to do. While I got to take a break here for a second and say that while I was talking to you and trying to be so brilliant while talking to you, I do believe I fixed the Skype issue with the phone system. So, again, the number is 603-835-3224. If you were trying to call in before, please call back. It was a simple... It's Microsoft. Microsoft owns Skype. Again, I don't know if this fixed the issue, but I did notice going into Skype, it seems like when you turn off Skype now, you've got to go back in and reset certain things. You save it, and then it reverts to something else. I don't get it. I don't understand. It just makes me just want to, I wish I was capable of writing code, because I'd make my own system that would be foolproof. That would be just so simple, straightforward. It'd be like an app. I know we have apps, but it would be like an app. It'd be a full-blown program, but it would be like an app. And you wouldn't have to do anything except set it. What's the now I'm getting mixed up if this is actually real or if it's from a TV program or a movie. Didn't Ron Popeil do something and say set it and forget it? Yeah, he did something like that, right? That was his advertising for one of his products. You set it and you forget it. That would be kind of nice. Love to be able to set it and forget it. Any case, again, the number's 603-835-3224, and it is a toll-free number. So if you did try calling before, I do apologize that there was a issue with that, and think we got it straightened out even before the break while I'm talking to you. See, I may have some talent after all. I can do 3 or 4 things at once. And most of the time, you're not even going to know I'm doing something else. Because I am that good. But I'm not a celebrity. And I sure as hell am not making $30 million an episode. That would be kind of nice. Not going to deny it. Oh, but then Bernie Sanders might get mad at me. He might decide that I'm making too much. Yeah, you know, are they going to go after, now everybody wants to go after the CEO's pay. Are they going to go after Hollywood and actors' pay as well? Is Bernie Sanders going to go after Tom Cruise's $30 million paycheck? Is it really? I mean, a CEO that's too excessive to make $3 or $5 million a year or $20 million a year. No, that's excessive. Is it not excessive? And these movies often don't make as much money as CEOs and their corporations make on an annual basis. Think how much were the salaries for how much did it cost to make Star Wars, and how much of that was salaries? How much did Harrison Ford and all the big guys make doing that movie? And yeah, it's like made $1 billion now, but that's rare. But it's made like $1 billion around the world. That's $1 billion. That's it. That's it. Most movies don't do that. I mean, we get these guys who make $20 million, and then their movie goes and makes $150 million, and we think, ooh, that's just so great. Wait a minute. You want to talk about pay disparity for what they're bringing in? J.P. Morgan is doing terrible, but J.P. Morgan still makes billions of dollars. And for that same paycheck, let's say a Tom Cruise is getting, and that movie doesn't make anywhere near what J.P. Morgan earns. And Tom Cruise doesn't have to manage people and worry about all the different government regulations and rules when it comes to financial companies. Think about that for a second, too. All the actor has to do is just show up on the set, either act like himself or pretend to be somebody else, for 2 months, 3 months max, and they go home. And they make $20, $30 million. Now, this guy at J.P. Morgan, the CEO, he's got to go into work every day for the entire year, and he's got to manage, sometimes thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and yet he's not supposed to earn the same amount of money as a Hollywood movie star. Have we lost our senses? Have we lost our senses? So, you don't make that kind of money and it's a bad thing. Or you make that kind of money and it's a bad thing. If you're in business. You make that kind of money and you're in entertainment, that's okay. But I don't see Bernie Sanders saying, he wants to go in and break up big Hollywood. Isn't it a little unfair that everybody's got to funnel through Hollywood in order to get, to get their big break? Isn't it a little unfair that they're forced to go through, the actors, Screen Actors Guild? Now, if I remember my short time period in such a thing, I did TV commercials when I was younger, and I did modeling. Yeah, whatever. I did some local, but I do remember that if I wanted to do commercials that were shot out of New York and not in central New York, I would have to join join the Screen Actors Guild or the other actors union is not an easy task. And they make it nearly impossible. I don't know why they do this. Probably just to keep out the riffraff. But it's not an easy task. And yet you have to join these unions if you want to make it big. I don't think that there aren't big TV and movie stars that aren't a part of what the Screen Actors Guild or SAG, and there's another one. And I had to join the Screen Actors Guild. I remember that. Actually, I don't think I actually made it in. I had to apply. In order to do this one particular commercial, I had to apply. And I think at that particular point, I just realized, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to go to New York City. So I'm not going to be able to afford to pay these Screen Actors Guild fees to be a part of that union. So I'm not going to get any work because I'm not living in New York City. But yet and still, I don't hear Bernie talking about breaking up big Hollywood, just so-called big banks. Again, you know, sometimes it's just, I guess it's the type of person that you are that liberals really like. If you're a businessman, you're hated. Providing thousands of jobs, you're hated. But if you're just entertaining people and only employ a few people, oh, that's okay. You're loved then.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. National EMS Institute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. Franz Black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
And we are back here on the Rod Eccles Show. Of course, I am still your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio. The call-in number, again, looks like things are working on the phone end, 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. You know, the whole Bernie Sanders thing really kind of irks me, simply because people just are not picking up on what this guy is saying, and they constantly just want to support. They support him. I don't know what's scarier out there is having a Hillary Clinton have the support that she has. There's another poll that's out today. Drudge has a poll, and of course, there's a bunch of other polls. Now, the other day there was a poll that said that Kasich, good old Mr. Kasich, was in second place, and I challenged that notion, thinking, where are they getting this? Where are they getting the fact that Kasich has so much? Because then you go over to you see another poll that talks about strictly Iowa, and there is no Kasich support. He's got less than 1%. So I don't know where they're coming from when they're talking about this type of support for Kasich. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have support, but according to the rest of the polls and national polls, he's polling it around, I think, no greater than 1% at the moment. So you're wondering how these polls are done. I tell people you got to be careful how polls are done, because they can skew things to a point where where people just they're not getting the truth. They're manipulative. And as such, but Drudge has a poll. And the Drudge Super Poll is what they're calling it. And they've had more than 1 million votes. Now, I got to tell you, Kasich is pulling in 1.3%. So I don't know how they have in a New Hampshire poll, Kasich is pulling double digits behind Trump. And it's kind of interesting because they don't have Clinton on this poll. Clinton is... They have Clinton in this poll. Hillary. And Hillary is pulling less than Kasich. Clinton is pulling in at less than 1%. Less than 1%. And Clinton isn't doing as well as Kasich. And I think we have our caller on the line, 540. This is the Rod Eccles Show. Can you hear me, and can I hear you? Hello, 540. No, I heard it ringing there for a second, I thought. So that was good. But nothing came through. Nobody talked. Anyway, Trump. Here's a surprise for all of you guys. Donald J. Trump. Trump. 36%. Let's see if we can bring on the caller. Can you hear me now, caller?
Hello?
Hello, yes, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go ahead.
I can't hear on the other end.
You're not hearing me? Well, you're live. Go ahead. You can talk. Nope, they ended up. Well, if they can't hear me, I don't think that's on my end. Because we could hear him, and I saw him coming through. But in any event, I have no idea what's going on with this. Because we just did a test with this yesterday, and it was absolutely perfect and flawless. And now today it's not flawless anymore. I don't understand it. But in any case, let's see if we can hear him again. We'll give you one more shot. 540, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go right ahead. And no? Can't hear you. Well, there we go. Somebody coming in. Let's see. No? Huh. Interesting. Lovely. In any case, it is Friday, so what are we going to worry about? Absolutely nothing. Not going to worry about on Friday, because Fridays is the day that we take things a little bit less seriously. Technical difficulties seem to always happen. Now, in this particular case, it probably is something that I did. I'm not going to deny it. I probably did it. Didn't know that I did it, but I probably did it. Because the test yesterday went flawless with this new system. It was flawless. Everything worked. So I had to have done something other than the Microsoft Skype thing changing after I closed it. So I had to have done it. So we'll fix that later, I guess. Anyway, the poll, Drudge Report, the super poll, Trump is at 36%. He's even beating Sanders handedly at just under 30%, 29.7% for Sanders. Now, see, that's the scary part. You got all these people that are supporting Sanders who wants nothing. They want nothing more than a socialistic dictator. Is this what we're getting? Are we getting a socialistic dictator? A communist, basically. But anyway, the Drudge Super Poll, it polled over 1 million people. Now, again, I am not a huge poll person. I don't always fall into, everybody, because everybody's got a different poll. They can get pull a poll here, pull a poll there, and they can get vastly different results. But there's one thing that we seem to find in common with all the polls, almost all of them, is that Trump is in a commanding lead. And we keep hearing that, I never did believe this. Well, Rubio and Cruz can beat Hillary Clinton, but Trump loses to Clinton. Well, how is that possible when Trump has so much support? Are you telling me that Trump has all this GOP and moderate and even Reagan Democrat support, and then when it comes time to pull the lever, if Hillary's in the race, they're all going to switch over to Hillary? That doesn't make any sense. So in this Drudge Super Poll, it asks, who is your pick for president? That's all it asks. Pretty simple. Who's your pick for president? 36% say Trump. 29.7% say Sanders. 19% say Cruz. 5% say Rubio. Then you get down to Kasich, who's at 1.3%, and you get Hillary Clinton that is less than 1%. Santorum and O'Malley. I mean, she's third from the bottom. According to the Drudge Super Poll, with over 1 million votes cast in this poll, Clinton gets 0.88%, Santorum 0.2%, and Martin O'Malley at 0.12%. So in other words, out of over a million votes cast in this poll, Clinton gets less than 11,000. But Donald Trump gets over 413,000 votes. Now, even if this poll is, and I don't know how Drudge skews their polls, but even if their poll skewed to the right, do you understand how far right they're going to have to skew to get that kind of disparity? Just saying. Now, are these numbers accurate? Probably not. Can we give Clinton a few more points? Yeah. You can. But I don't think she's going to make up 36 points. This whole notion that she is look, this is like 2008 all over again. You know, she's the heir apparent, nomination's hers, and then all of a sudden she loses it. And I hope to God that it is Sanders for the Democrats. Hope it is, because whoever the Republican nominee is, they will eviscerate him. He will be seen and shown for the angry, grumpy old man that he is. Because even in his commercial, he sounds angry and grumpy. Will they begin to play by the rules of our president? You bet. That's his commercial. That's exactly what he says. Will they begin to play by the rules of our president? You bet. No, it's not the rules of our president, Mr. Sanders, as I've already said. Hey. Anyway. That is what's going on with the campaigns, as it were. Who's where, who's when. We're getting close to the primaries starting. I mean, we got the caucus, February 1st, the Iowa caucus. We'll see. I'm hearing all sorts of things out there in Iowa about how Trump is starting to take the lead. The people are kind of abandoning Cruz. Wait, I got something. I thought I saw something here about in my new. I don't think I added it to my paper pile, but I think I saw something. Yeah, about Cruz. One of Cruz's big people jumping ship and joining Trump. I don't know if that's the case, but look, we've got a poll here, a poll there. We've got polls all over the place telling us all kinds of things. We've got something else here from Moody. This is actually reported on thehill.com. And we've got Moody's model. This is the title. Moody's model gives Dem candidate advantage in 2016. Now, basically, it says that the Democratic presidential nominee will win the race for the presidency, but the election is shaping up as historically tight, according to a political model. Less than 11 months from Election Day, Moody's Analytics is predicting that whomever lands the Democratic nomination will capture the White House. Okay, now that's really kind of scary to think about. Even if, in other words, the Moody model is saying that even if Martin O'Malley were to pull it out, he would be the next president. And they would capture the White House with 326 electoral votes to the Republican nominees to 12. Now, those results, however, are heavily dependent on how swing states vote. The latest model from Moody's reflects razor-thin margins for the 5 most important swing states, Florida, Ohio, Colorado, New Hampshire, and Virginia. In each of those states, the Democratic advantage is less than 1 percentage point, well within the margin of error. Now, the election model weighs political and economic strength in each state and determines the share of the vote that the incumbent party will win. So, in other words, it doesn't matter. According to the Moody model, I don't know how they do this. And I don't know how accurate that. I didn't have a chance this morning to really dig deep to see how accurate this model has been. But to say that whoever the Democratic nominee is going to be, they're going to be the. If that's the case, then. If that's the. Look, folks, if that is the case, if this. What the Moody model is saying, if that's the case, the Republicans will never win the White House again. But wait, if that was the case, and that should have meant that the Republicans shouldn't have lost the White House. So no matter how bad the current president is, the incumbent party is going to win it, according to this model. Now, I got to. I'm sitting here scratching my head. I don't know. I do not. I don't get it either. But this is the type of thing, and I know this is going to make a lot of people run around and say, see, Donald can't win. Donald can't win. Well, according to this Moody model, none of the Republicans win. So what difference does it make? If you're going to go by these models, or you're going to go by these so-called polls, what difference is it going to make? So the American people should at least, or the GOP voters should at least get their chance to get the nominee that they want. The last couple of elections, we've gotten the nominee that the GOP hierarchy wanted. They both lost. So why not just let the GOP voters decide this time who's going to get the nod? If they're going to lose anyway, right? At least you'll never have to worry about Trump running for office again. If he loses, he'll go away. And after he spends a good significant, probably $1 billion of his own money, he won't be as rich as he was. So it's a win-win. Think about that for a second. If Donald Trump can't win, if he isn't going to win, then you just might as well throw him up there. So you won't hear from him again. So you won't have that thorn in your side anymore. He'll lose some of his wealth. I mean, after all, his brand name is taking some hits, so he's not making as much money off his name as he used to. So he won't be as rich. He'll have spent a lot of money helping the economy without being taxed. He just spent it. So it's a win-win for the Republican establishment, the GOP insiders, the Republican blue bloods, to let Donald Trump freely win the nomination. Because according to the Hill, it doesn't matter. This time around, it does not matter who the Republican candidate is. The Democrats are going to win. So why put up a good candidate, quote unquote, good, solid candidate, if they're going to lose? Why throw up Cruz or Rubio if they're going to lose? That's going to take them out of contention 4 years from now. If Cruz gets a nomination and he loses, you think he's running again in 4 years? No, of course not. Well, I mean, hell, I guess some of them did try to bring Romney back, but that doesn't happen in modern politics. You throw up Rubio or Bush even. They're going to lose, according to this model. So why even bother? Why not? 'Cause are they going to run in 4 years? No. So why not just give it to Donald, let him lose according to this model, and you'll be done with him? But folks, you see, even though Moody has this model out there, there's something that these people, the insiders, know. Their internal polling is telling them otherwise. See, you always have to... don't listen to all this crap that you're going to start getting out there. And not the shame on the Hill for publishing this, but don't always listen to all this crap that is out there. What you got to pay attention to is exactly what these guys are doing. If there is a sudden shift or a swing to doing a certain thing, even though you're being told the polls are indicating something else, follow what they're doing. If everybody all of a sudden in the GOP field, if everybody all of a sudden, which they kind of are already, starts taking aim at a particular candidate, and all of a sudden everybody's taking aim at Rubio. Why is everybody taking aim at Rubio? Well, because there's some internal polling from all these camps and within the GOP that is saying that Rubio is now a threat. So all their aim is going at Rubio because Rubio's a threat. And you see, well, Donald is keeping himself relevant and at the top of the game. But you're going to start to see if Donald wins Iowa and or New Hampshire, that means that the internal polls that these people already have is going to be proven out. And they're all going to turn their guns on Donald, as if right now they're starting to. I mean, all I hear now, all I see now is a bunch of stories from the different candidates talking about different aspects of Donald Trump's, past and present. Forget all the polls out there, because those polls are misleading, they're inaccurate, and they're done for a particular reason, to try to sway you by your emotions. All you have to do in order to get the truth is just actually pay attention to what the political camps are doing. And what's happening now is a number of these campaigns, it started with Jeb Bush, because I couldn't figure out why Jeb was targeting Rubio. And then all of a sudden others started targeting Rubio. And I said, that's it, folks. Their internal polls are saying that Rubio is a threat, and they got to take him out early. Or else, instead of it being a Trump-Cruz show, it's going to be a Trump-Cruz-Rubio or a Trump-Rubio show. And obviously, Jeb doesn't want to have to try to keep climbing and trying to jump over the Latino guy. He's already got to deal with Trump later on. And, of course, Cruz doesn't want to lose his second position to another fellow Latino. No. So where do the big guns turn? They turn to the threat. Rubio's a threat. They already know Donald's a threat because, he's been on top since, July. I don't, on a rolling, consistent basis, on an average of all the polls, I don't think Donald has not been in the lead since, July. But you can't convince some of these people of that. But I think right now, and these models are kind of showing that that's the case. Or not models, but the Drudge Super Poll. Rubio is in for the GOP. He's in third place, but he's at 5%, but he's still in third place. He's fourth in the Super Poll when it comes to who would you pick for your president. So Cruz and Rubio have a problem because if you combine their two, 20 and 5%, it's only 25%, and Sanders is at almost 30. They're still behind Sanders together. But, of course, if you were to, I know a lot of people's ideal ticket is Trump for president, Cruz for vice president. That's, 36 and 20%. That's over. That's 56% right there. That's enough to win any election at any time. But I guess what the Moody model is saying, all those people who are supporting Cruz and Trump, for some reason, when the time comes and they step in that voting booth, that they're all of a sudden, a lot of them are just going to switch their vote to whoever the Democrat is. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. Sorry.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
January, not February, January the 22nd, year of our Lord 2016. Still broadcasting from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, home of the first in the nation primary. It's not the first in the nation voting, it's the first in the nation primary. The first in the nation voting is actually taking place in Iowa with the first caucus, where people go to caucus in the Hawkeye state. What's the Hawkeye, right? Yeah, Iowa. It's the Hawkeye state, right? Here's something from the Washington Post. The WAPO. Who had the worst week in Washington this past week? And this is from the Washington Post. Hillary had the worst week in Washington, according to the WAPO. And they're saying, this is a piece by Chris Cillizza, C-I-L-L-I-Z-Z-A. Cillizza? We'll say Cillizza. Sounds better than Cillizza. Cillizza. For Hillary Clinton, it's starting to look like deja vu all over again. Start a bid for the Democratic presidential nomination as giant frontrunner. Raise tens of millions of dollars. Look unbeatable for large swaths of the year and a year before the primary start. An insurgent challenger running to her ideological left. Collapsing poll numbers on the eve of actual votes. All check. Check, 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 and check. So over the past week or so, Clinton has watched her national polling lead over Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, a self-avowed socialist communist, has shrunk. And far more important, Clinton standing vis-a-vis Sanders in the key early voting states of Iowa and New Hampshire have eroded as well. Oh my. Oh my, my, my. What is Hillary to do? Well, first of all, she might want to come clean in all her crap. That might go a long way. Now, all she has to do is just say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause all this trouble, all this pain. I just thought I was doing the best I possibly could with the tools that I had from this jerk Obama. But I'm sorry. I know I probably should have just told you straight from the beginning, the 411 right up front, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Oh, hey, just give a genuine sounding apology. And all will be probably, well, at least in liberal land, all will be forgiven. And you'll garner your support back. Now, of course, if you actually admit to making mistakes and doing some wrong, you might find yourself in some more legal trouble, but at least you'll gain your support back. Yes, you'll gain your support back. Of course you will. You'll gain your liberal support. Hey, because liberals don't care if you lie or not. They just care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Now, if you're a Republican that lies, that's not tolerable. Not tolerable at all. You need to go to jail. You probably should be hung. Hung by your neck and your toenails if you're thought to have lied to liberals. But if you're a liberal who lies, no big deal. I mean, what difference does it make now anyway? It was like so long ago, man. Oh, it's kind of like, hey, dude. Yeah, dude, that's like, that news about, that was like before I was born, dude. I don't really care about that, okay, dude? But, if it's a Republican, it's like, dude, that's not cool lying to us like that, dude. So just pointing that out. So Hillary has had a very bad week. Poll numbers imploding. I don't know if I should even. Why not? Look, I don't like Hillary. I've never liked her. Personally, I don't like her. I don't think we would ever be friends. In fact, I know we wouldn't. I just don't like her. I don't like Barack Obama. I would not go have a beer with that man. I do not like him, Sam I am. Now, Bernie Sanders, Bernie is, on a person, if we didn't have to talk politics, he just might be, I'd probably invite him to a party just because he's so grumpy, he'd be funny. He's so curmudgeon that people would just find him entertaining. So I could probably hang with Bernie for a little while. Might need a few beers in me first, but I could probably hang. I know that's kind of strange to say about a communist, but it's just his personality that comes across. He's kind of like the two Muppet characters up in the balcony. Just so old, curmudgeon, and grumpy that they're funny. Now, of course, if he's president, that's not funny. That would not be funny if he were president and still being grumpy. But being a harmless old man, as grumpy as he is, would be funny. Just the way it is. Hey, by the way, did you hear? Bill Cosby has a win in his corner. Bill Cosby, and this is from CNN. actually, CNN.com. Bill Cosby wins in Pennsylvania court. The defamation lawsuit is dismissed. Yes, indeed. Bill has got Mr. Cosby has a slight win. More than 40 women have spoken out to various media outlets about allegations of sexual misconduct by Bill Cosby. We've had quite a few women almost equaling that number about Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton is not under scrutiny right now. It's just Bill Cosby. And it's a big win for Bill Cosby in court yesterday. A federal judge in Pennsylvania sided with the disgraced comedian and granted Cosby's motion to dismiss a defamation lawsuit. Renita Hill, one of the more than 50 women who have publicly accused Cosby of assault, filed a civil suit in October alleging that the actor and his lawyer defamed Hill in the media. Judge Arthur J. Schwab dismissed the three claims against Cosby, ruling that the statements do not support a claim for defamation as defined by Pennsylvania law. That is according to the ruling. So there you have it. Bill gets a win. Again, it's a double standard on the liberals' part because Bill Cosby gets accused of assaulting a bunch of that's a lot of women. I suppose he's had plenty of years to do that, but he gets assaulted by, or he allegedly assaults numerous numbers of women. Bill Clinton does the same thing, and first of all, nobody wants to believe the Bill Clinton women, but they'll believe every single one of the Cosby women. Why is that? Mostly it's because Cosby has come out against liberal ideology. Cosby's told black boys to pull up their pants and act like adults and human beings and stop acting like animals, basically. Pull up your pants. That's terrible. Bill, how could you possibly say that? Pull up your pants. Because they're the ones that, he was basically telling them all, even the white boys who want the urban look. Pull up your pants. Nobody wants to see your box. I don't even know why they even bother. Just walk around in your boxers. It seems to me like to be the thing to do. Here's something from The Independent, speaking of Bill Cosby. I'm sure this is something that all you guys want to hear. There was a correlation between... okay. There is a small correlation between... Guys, pay attention. You know what? I know that this is just stuff that's out there. This has to do with Bill Cosby. So if you've got kids under the age of 13 who are in the room, and actually they should be in school, but if they're in the room and they're listening to this program, I'm going to count backwards from 5, because what's coming up next might be construed as PG-13 or maybe even rated R. So you're not going to want to. I'm giving you fair warning. You're probably not going to want your young child to be able to hear this. So either turn it off or put on the earphones or what have you, so they cannot hear the next segment for this part of the segment for the next 5 minutes. Okay, and it has to do with things of a sexual nature. So I'm going to count back from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If little young ears can still hear this at this particular point, it is not my fault. You've had plenty of warning. A small correlation, this is from the independent.co.uk. A small correlation between an erect penis length and a man's height was found. Yes, they actually spent money, much of it government money, to figure this out. Average penis size. So scientists attempted to find what is normal to reassure concerned men. I didn't know men. Well, I know it's a big deal. I didn't know it was such a big deal. Like that it would. Well, I guess it is because we have all these things that supposedly make what was that? What was that? There was that herbal supplement. I think they got sued to increase a man's endowment by taking this herbal supplement. But scientists have measured more than 15,000 men in an effort to find out what size is normal. Now, researchers at King's College in London and a London NHS, National Health, that's their NHS is their health department, trust said that they hope to review that would help address the concern that some men have about their size and aid people suffering from anxiety and distress. I guess men are suffering from anxiety and stress over their size. They revealed the average flaccid size at 3.6 inches or 5.2 inches when stretched, and 3.7 inches in girth or circumference. Erect, they measure 5.1 inches and 4.5 inches in girth. So they're, according to the Independent, and according to the King's College in London and the London Bureau of the NHS, Government Health Organization, the average size is 5.1 inches. So there you go. I don't know if Cosby is above or below average. All those women would have to. I don't know if. Actually, we have heard about Bill's endowment, and some people have said that he's above average. Some women have said, yeah, Bill's above average. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't particularly care. But evidently, a lot of men care about this. So I am here to serve, to give you the information that you need to live your life better on a daily basis. So now we're done with that part. You can going back to G, a G-rated, well, G+, I guess. Let's just say PG. We're at PG. Well, PG is, what is it, 10 or 12? I don't know. PG-13, obviously, you should be 13 or older in order to hear it or watch it, right? But PG is suggesting parents be careful of something. So I'm just, because, every once in a while, you never know what somebody's going to say. And I'm not including myself, because I can control me. I just can't control what other people say when they call in. So we're saying it's a PG. We're back to PG. We're down from R, back down to PG. So you can bring in the young ears again and have no worries. Did you hear this one? Bloomberg Business, Bloomberg.com. This is for all you Apple-ites. For all you Apple people, I got some other news on Apple here too, but this one sort of piqued my interest a little bit when it came across my news feed, so I added it to the paper pile. Google paid Apple $1 billion to keep Google's search bar on the iPhone. So if you're wondering why Google has a search bar on your iPhone, which is all Apple, now you know why. Google paid Apple $1 billion. So Google is paying Apple a hefty fee to keep its search bar on the iPhone. Now, Apple received $1 billion from its rival in 2014, according to a transcript of court proceedings from Oracle Corp's copyright lawsuit against Google. The search engine giant has an agreement with Apple that gives the iPhone maker a percentage of the revenue Google generates through the Apple device. An attorney for Oracle said at a January 14th hearing in federal court. Apple's not so innocent in this. Seems like they may be slightly complicit, are they not? $1 billion. That's a lot. Well, let me put it this way. If Google is paying Apple $1 billion to keep that search bar on the iPhone, do you think maybe Google might be making more than $1 billion off of that? Because Google isn't going to spend good money after bad. They're not going to do that. They're going to want a return. Plain and simple. And if you're not making a return, they're not going to spend the money. So $1 billion must mean they're making some bank. And of course, Oracle is accusing Google of violating some of Oracle's patents and copyrights. And that's, I don't, that kind of stuff, when you're talking about, because patents get can get very, very, very specific. And people can get multiple patents on the same thing, but by various definitions, it changes. So let's just say, you can get a patent because it's a particular unique way that you connect to the internet. It's unique. You can get a patent that for the not just that it's a unique way, but a patent that this particular type of program connects to the internet. You can get a patent for this. It's just a different type of program. You see what I'm saying? You can get and in some cases, because right now in certain areas our technology or knowledge in that technology is so limited that we only have one or two ways to actually go about utilizing that sort of technology. And if somebody has a patent on that one or half the ways and you happen to use it, you're in violation of the patent and the copyright, and you can be sued and lose. Well, evidently this is how, you could, let me see if I can put it simpler for some people to really understand. You can find a way to get to second base. Let's just use a baseball analogy. You got, home place, first base, second base, third base. So if you were to be able to change the rules in such a way that you can go from home plate to first base to third base in order to get to second base, that's patentable. That's unique. So if somebody else but the only way, because the technology is so limited right now, the only way to get to second base is by first going to third base, well, that's a different patent. And if you try to get to second base, other than by going to first base, you have to go to third base. Well, that is now patented. And you can't do it. Or you got to pay somebody in order to let you go to second base via third base. Now, going to first base, it might be slower, it might be ancient, it might be fraught with problems and bugs and all that kind of stuff. Computer language here. So you're going to want this new way getting to second base via third base is probably the best way that we have. But you got to pay that person who figured out how to get to second base via third base. Or else you have to use the older technology, getting to second base via first base. So the only other way that you could go is by getting to second base just from home. You go directly from home to second base. But that technology is so advanced that nobody's been able to figure out how to do that yet. The only way is by going either first base, the old, slow, encumbered, well-worn, public domain type of way, or the new, faster, fandangled way, which is via third base, but somebody else has a patent and they're going to charge you a royalty fee or a series of fees in order to get to second base via their third base method. If you try to develop your own third base method, you're most likely going to step on certain patents within the patent of theirs. There might be some key component that needs to be used in order to make the third third to second base viable. And if you use that technique or that code, you're in violation of the patent. See, patents can get very detailed and very complicated. Now, evidently, this is what's happened to Google with Oracle. Oracle is saying that, sure, Google has their own system, but in order to utilize that part of their system, they had to utilize our patent without our permission. So in other words, Google attempted to try to change within the algorithm of how to get to second base from third base, but in order to do that, they actually had to use third base to get to first base, and that's what Oracle is saying. Well, third base is our patent, dude. No matter how you utilize it, it's still you use third base. That's our patent. That's what Oracle is saying about Google. Put it plain and simple. I mean, Google may not be using anything that's identical to Oracle within that whole framework of using third base, but they're using third base to get to second base. That is what Oracle is saying Google is violating. To put it in plain, simple terms, I guess. Hope you understood that.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. National EMS Institute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Friends Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Can hear you on the air now. I don't know why you're not hearing me on my end. That makes no sense. Obviously, people can hear me talking to them now on the air, so why isn't it going through to you on the phone? I don't know why. I have to say I don't know what that issue is now. During the test yesterday, or the other day when we were testing this and putting it through, the people that I had calling and trying to put this through, they heard me and I heard them, and everything worked and it was copacetic. But all of a sudden today, it's not. I don't know why. I wish I was a tech. I wish I had a tech. See, this is why I need a producer, because they would figure this out in a heartbeat and have it fixed right then and there. But I don't have an answer for you at this, because I'm not a techie. Couldn't tell you what it could possibly be. I may just have to go into to my broadcasting computers, erase a whole bunch of stuff, and re-download stuff. Sometimes that's what fixes the problem. I don't something gets corrupted. I do know that happens. You know, sometimes a particular code or line or something gets corrupted for whatever reason. And unless you are a coder, you can't go in there and fix it line by line. You just have to start over. Starting over is not something what most people want to do, because it eliminates a lot of stuff that you've already done. I get that, but sometimes you don't have any choice, and you just have to cut your losses and start over. It's a pain. But in order to bring you the highest quality show possible, I am willing to start over if I have to with this software. It may not even be the new software. It's probably something within Skype itself. But, if you want to call in, we'll give it one more shot to see if anything comes back around. And now we'll see if 505, if you can hear me, you're on the Rod Eccles Show. Go. And obviously not, because I can hear them, but yet for some reason still, and I'm not on mute. Yeah, because if I was on mute, you wouldn't be able to hear me. Let me do this. Do that. I'm going to do this. But no, they obviously, you cannot hear me, can you? Go right ahead. Nothing. Oh, well, we tried. I don't know what the configuration issue is, folks. I do apologize on that. But either that or people are just playing with me. Some people are playing and not actually doing it. But we'll get it, make sure that we get it down and fixed for you. Promise, we'll get it fixed. Any case. So Apple, by the way, speaking of Apple, I know that they have the loss. Well, now they're completely and thoroughly involved in the lawsuit with Google and Oracle, but Apple has got another issue. And this is again goes to the hypocrisy of leftists. Now you have to understand that Apple is run by a big lefty, Cook. Cook is a big lefty, and he's not. Well, it is what it is, I suppose. But he is off to Brussels right now. He's off to Brussels, and this is basically from Financial Times. And he is having to go to Brussels in order to, we're talking billions of dollars here, possibly. Now, this is the backstory. Apple has paid some back taxes in Italy. Some $350 million worth of back taxes in Italy. But the EU is also probing Apple's Irish tax arrangements, and it could be possibly worth somewhere in the range of $8 billion. So, and this is also from TheGuardian.com. Apple may owe $8 billion in back taxes after European Commission ruling. Now, this is the Commission's crackdown on multinational corporations extended to tech giants, to the tech giant Apple in an investigation that revealed potentially illegal use of Ireland tax shelters. I don't know how it's illegal to use a tax shelter, but evidently the EU is saying, well, you know, I'm surprised that the EU has not come out with a universal tax structure. That may be coming. It may be coming. But here's a corporation that liberals love to death that does everything that liberals say that they hate. And it's run by another liberal, Tim Cook. Well, I mean, this is what I keep pointing out about the hypocrisy of liberals. And look, who was it that said that they would rather vote for a liberal, even if they were? Wasn't that Joy Behar? Said she'd vote for a liberal even if he was a rapist over a conservative. I mean, this is how sick these people are. So Apple may owe $8 billion in back taxes from its use of potentially illegal tax shelters in Ireland. The European Commission's recent ruling against tax breaks for multinational corporations in Belgium strongly suggests that the tech behemoth could be subject to a hefty bill when the open investigation against its activities in Ireland concludes. So that would be like saying that, well, just because, Santander is a bank, but it's a Spanish bank. So that would be like the United States going to Santander and saying, look, because of your what we believe perceived to be illegal activities and tax shelters in Ireland, we're going to sue you and you're going to owe us back taxes here in the United States, even though you're headquartered in Spain. So what Brussels is saying, that even though you're headquartered in the United States and doing business in Ireland, we find that's illegal. And that you're illegally sheltering money over there. So we're going to force you to pay back taxes of $8 billion. $8 billion to who? To Ireland? No, it's going to go to Brussels. So the Commission has been cracking down on U.S. companies trying to negotiate sweetheart deals with individual European Union member nations for the last several years. Now, Starbucks operations in another very well-known liberal company. Starbucks operations in the Netherlands and Amazon and McDonald's in Luxembourg have all been subject to similar investigations. So all these liberal companies are trying their best to circumvent legally and maybe questionably to avoid paying taxes. And yet you've got Bernie Sanders over here telling the American people that these corporations need to pay their fair share. Well, evidently they're not paying their fair share here, and they're not paying their fair share over there. Just find it very interesting. Now, the commission found that Starbucks owed Dutch authorities about $22 million. And a ruling from Belgium this week determined that 35 companies across the EU owe an equivalent of $750 million in back taxes. Now, Apple has already said it would appeal against the ruling, any ruling against the company. And Tim Cook has called the investigation political crap. In a recent 60 Minutes interview, there was no truth behind it. He said, Apple pays every dollar that we owe. Well, here, I got the answer for you, Apple. If Brussels is in the middle of a shakedown of American companies, stop doing business in that country. Stop doing business in their country. Just stop. Pull out. See, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. If you're being overtaxed or unfairly targeted by legal entities and government authorities in that particular nation, which obviously doesn't contribute a whole hell of a lot to your bottom line, pull out. You know what you're going to have? You're going to have your fans, your customers, they're going to be screaming at their government, and things will get changed. If you capitulate, they're going to keep doing what they're doing to you. You know, that's just the truth, plain and simple. They're going to keep doing to you what they've always done. I don't understand why people just can't get a sense of, I don't know, cojones, brass cojones, and just start challenging all this kind of crap. Same thing here in the USA. You know, if the government is going to try to do certain things to prevent you from doing something that is beneficial to the public in general, then pull out. The government thinks that these governments think that they can do this simply because they can get away with it. Because they know that you're still going to want to do business anyway. I say don't follow that pattern. Just pull out. They'll lose more money than they will gain. I know if they have a certain mentality like our guy, it really isn't going to matter because he's not about really. See, here's a problem with a lot of liberals, especially in this country. It's not really about the money. It's about the control. And if you decide that you're not going to play by their rules and not play at all, well, that's just going to piss them off. And then they will try to find a way to force you to do business. I know this is what probably Tim Cook is probably thinking. If we pull out of a particular country, those idiotic liberals are going to try to force us to do business there. Can you imagine? You know, you go into, let's say you go into Denmark. Denmark wants to charge you an arm and a leg in taxes, even from stuff that doesn't happen within their company. Okay, you're putting money over there in Ireland. Well, we're going to tax you on that. That's illegal. We think it's illegal. We're going to tax you. So you say, okay, I'm going to pull out of Denmark. Well, pulling out of Denmark is going to hurt the people of Denmark. It's going to hurt their, probably some unemployment is going to take place. They're going to lose all the tax base or revenue that you once generated. So then they decide, well, no, you can't pull out. We've just made a law that you have to do business here. Now, how are they going to enforce a company to do business in their country? If the company's not headquartered in their country and none of the main employees of the company are in that country, don't doubt me, they're not going to try to do this. But how would you enforce that? Would you go to the United States government and say, look, we've made a law that Apple has to do business in Denmark, and Apple is not complying. What are they going to do? So this whole notion that Rod, they can make laws that make you do stuff. I'm like, well, if you're not there, how can they make you do anything? And of course, you get the ubiquitous, this isn't new. I mean, this is not some epiphany. Look, Tim Cook, if Brussels wants you to pay an outrageous amount in taxes, I know, hey, look, you should pay your own fair share, right? After all, you're led by a liberal who believes in all that stuff because you promote all this stuff that the liberal talks about paying their fair share. You just willingly should want to pay it. But if you don't want to pay it, if you think it's too much, if you think it's not your fair share, then you don't pay it. And if they're going to force you to pay it, you say, fine, we'll just pull out of your country. We won't do business with you anymore. All those people that we employ there will now lose their jobs. Unemployed. And of course, they'll say, well, you got to pay this compensation. You say, no, we're done. We're not in the country anymore. You can't make us do a thing. So why don't they do that? Look, this is how you stand up to oppressive governments. This is how you stand up to oppressive governments in quote unquote democracies. If you try to pull that crap in a communist nation, it probably wouldn't go. They'll just send soldiers to your abode and force you to do whatever they want you to do. But again, if you don't live there, how are they going to force you to do anything? That's kind of like China saying, well, we're going to force Apple to do business to make their phones here, their iPhones in China. Well, Apple probably will want to sell because it's a huge market. But let's just say that Apple, China wasn't making any money for Apple as far as selling their product. And China said, well, you have to make your phones here. And Apple says, well, we'll just pull out. We'll just pull out, and we won't have to worry about making our phones there or selling our phones there. We'll just pull out. And then China says, well, no, you got it, because if you don't, we're going to fine you. We're going to fine you all kinds of money. Now, and Apple will say, well, if you don't do what we say, we're going to come to your house and arrest you. And Apple says, well, none of us live in China. We're never going to go to China again. We're never going to go to any place that is a Chinese, stronghold or satellite like North Korea. So go ahead. So China will then probably put out a fatwa against Tim Cook or people like that. Wait, China doesn't do that? Oh, that's only Islamist? Okay. I guess, he might want to be a little bit afraid of Muslims then, because if Iran says, you will do business here, or we will put fatwa out on you, then he might want to stay in business in Iran then. But, Tim Cook would never go to Iran anyway. Now, think about it for a second before I have to explain that. Tim Cook would never go to Iran or Saudi Arabia. They may sell phones, iPhones and Apple products in Iran and Saudi Arabia, but he'll never go there. And I want you liberals, before I tell you why Tim Cook will never go to the Middle East. Doesn't matter what country it is, he will never go there. Why would not Tim Cook not? Well, come on now. Because Tim Cook is openly gay. And in most Middle Eastern countries, especially if they're Muslim-based or Islamic-based, that is not only a sin, but a crime. And in many of those places, it's punishable by death. So he would risk being arrested and possibly executed if he went to those countries. But, hey, all you wonderful liberals out there, you're out there still supporting it. Well, I mean, you're still supporting Islam. Well, you are. And I don't know. I wonder if there are Muslims working for Apple. How does that work? How do Muslims work for Apple if Apple is led by a tremendous sinner? I don't know. By the way, you might want to buy a standard vehicle, a vehicle with manual transmission. It's a safety feature. It is. Safety. It's a safety feature. Armed, this is from CBSLocal.com. And it's it's from Dallas-Fort Worth. CBS, Dallas-Fort Worth. An armed carjacking in South Oath Cliff, outside of Dallas, turned sour for the alleged thieves after Dallas police said both men could not actually drive the car they were attempting to steal. Now, looking at the pictures, it looks like they were attempting to steal a Mustang. Now, can you imagine why they couldn't drive the car that they were trying to steal? Well, the investigator said two men approached the driver of a Ford Mustang GT. They demanded the car. A fight broke out, and the owner of the vehicle ended up grazed in the leg by a bullet after shots were fired. Police said the suspects tried to speed off but could not get the car out of gear. They couldn't get the car out of gear because investigators believe the suspects did not know how to drive a manual transmission or stick shift car, and they kept stalling the vehicle. The suspects then ran off on foot and have not been located yet. So you have a bunch of criminals, a couple of criminals, two of them, and evidently neither one of them knew how to drive a stick. So they aggressively attack a man, the apparent owner of the vehicle, attempt to kill him via shooting him, and then attempt to try to get away, and they can't get away because they keep stalling the car, and they keep stalling the car because evidently they don't know how to drive a stick. So I'm saying if you want to protect yourself and your vehicle, you might want to think about getting a stick, a manual transmission vehicle. And if you get carjacked, before you get out of the car, say, do you know how to drive a manual? Just trying to save you some time, dude, Mr. Carjacker. If you don't know how to drive a manual, I have a manual. You probably don't want to try it because you won't be able to get away. Well, you can't make this stuff up, folks. You really, life is so much funnier than fiction. You just get a laugh out of this stuff. You really do. And finally today, I know there's a bunch more stuff I wanted to get to, but including a student gets pulled out of class for saying ISIS in the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know what that's about, but maybe we'll get to that on Monday. But in Japan, the seemingly obsessed Japanese, sex-obsessed Japanese, seem to be really obsessed with sex and having sex and everything sex, but few of them seem to be indulging in sex. I'm not kidding you. Japan is well known for many things, and its obsession with sex is one of them. It has one of the most robust pornographic and adult toy industries in the world. I didn't know that. And airs TV commercials for items as banal as candy that feature sexually obsessive, suggestive themes. It even has an annual fertility festival that parades 2 5-foot-tall penis sculptures down a busy street on a Sunday afternoon, yet nearly half of singles in Japan have no interest in dating, a situation that many experts predict will help to lead to a population decline of 1/3 in the next 45 years. The Japanese love sex, love to talk about it, love to look at it, love to celebrate it, love to parade it down the street, but they don't like to participate. I think we can have that problem here in the United States. Well, folks, that's the end of this program for today and this week. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back here on Monday, hopefully with all the glitches fixed. Until then, up next is Rush and Hannity for the rest of the day. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.